Hi, Math here, and here's the petition to get these two expelled. Persona 5 The Phantom X, most common criticism from fans is this. P5X is just a discount copy of Persona 5. But are these words actually true? Well, booting up the game, the first thing you see here is this familiar cutscene from Persona 5, where you also have a tutorial fight against the same shadow, while also hearing the same lines from P5. Yeah, there's no denying that P5X is trying to be Persona 5. It doesn't stop there, as quite obviously, Kyuchi is a sad attempt to tell another Kamoshida story. Motoha and Shun are clear-cut and mixed from Ryuji, Anne, and Yusuke. Morgana and Lufel are both mascot characters that have a complex against being mascot characters. And of course, Wonder is a diluted Joker. Certainly, P5X has been copying Persona 5, but its most recent story begs to differ, as 2.0 has now proven that this gacha game is more than just a shallow imitation. Here's why P5X is no longer a discount copy of Persona 5. But before that though, if you're having a blast playing P5X's new story, then like this video and join the Talk of the Fine for more Persona content.
何それ
All Persona games have something in common. You might even say that the game has a formula. The goofy wingman, an adorable yet annoying mascot, and these lover girls staring at the wall. Aside from this, all Persona games are color-coded that symbolizes their themes. Persona 3 is a solemn blue that represents the sad nature of death. Persona 4 is yellow because it's livelier, and Persona 2 is orange because that's a forgettable color like how Atlus intended. P2 is actually red, but Persona 5 stole it. And we really can't blame P Studio nor Atlus for copying and pasting this formula, since it works so well. In fact, every time they reuse this formula, the series gets better. And that's actually the key as to why Persona games are so good. At the surface, you can see the similarities among the titles, but looking deeper and experiencing their story, gameplay, and atmosphere, you realize how different they are from each other. Yosuke isn't just a discount copy of Junpei, nor Morgana is meant to be a Teddy clone. Persona is such an interesting series that despite having similar things, each game is so unique when compared to each other. That's why the fandom are always arguing which Persona title is the best. And by the way, it's... And then there's Persona 5 The Phantom X, where fans have numerous times called it a discount copy of Persona 5. Granted, P5X isn't really a numbered entry in the series, but people do have a point in their criticism. P5X shouldn't just be a clone of the very successful Persona 5. Despite being a gacha spin-off, P5X has its own set of lead characters, grasping theme that talks about humanity's desire, and a story that will make you think of this game. What kind of coffee did Sojiro make here? Best not to give Shinji any more of that stuff. And I really can't deny these allegations. At least Persona 3, 4, 5 have different colors. P5X just went and stole P5's red motif. Jazz music, which I actually like, especially Last Strike. I mean, look at this verb go. And UI that they simply cannot imitate the masterful way Persona 5 has. P5X sealed its fate in launch when they presented this story about Kyuchi, the subway slummer, as well as Miyazawa, who is also clearly a loose copy of Madarame. P5X became soulless, as it only looked towards Persona 5's success and tried doing the very same thing that they did, but fumbling at every step, resulting to what we got in the first two chapters of the game. While decent, it doesn't really hold a candle to what is known as a masterpiece story in modern JRPG. Not until... If you haven't played it yet, I will be spoiling the brand new chapter of P5X, and you better play it first, because this is the exact reason why I can firmly say P5X is no longer a discount copy of Persona 5. Seriously, play the new story of P5X first, then just go back here. Anyway, Yusuke Nitta, the head writer of P5X, who made sure that the Kyuchi creator won't step inside Atlus again, is right when he said that this story chapter is what sets P5X apart from all Persona games. Finally, with version 2.0, fans learned the true reason as to why P5X is lauded by CN and KR gacha players. Its story is beyond anything in the gacha market. Heck, I will even say that P5X's new story is beyond what we have seen in other Persona games. And again, you can point out the similarities, with Riko being the smart and mature party member like Makoto, or Katayama-sensei having shades of Maruki. But again, these similarities are shallow observation, much like how Junpei and Yosuke are both lovable goofs, but have characteristics and story arcs that sets them apart. The very same thing can be said for major characters that played a part in P5X's new story. For one, this is the first time where we, as players, sitting behind Wonder and his Phantom Thief of Desires, are second-guessing ourselves as to why someone who's a benevolent and passionate teacher like Katayama-sensei would be the palace ruler. The whole direction of the game is leading us to believe that Akashi must be doing something to project a fake palace, where he is a true ruler, while Katayama-sensei is his distorted cognition. But the twist in the end hit the nail that made P5X finally different. The true meaning behind this twist is that P5X isn't afraid to tackle a gray area and expand it for what it truly is. Katayama-sensei, despite being projected as this caring teacher, similar to Kumiko in Gokusen, P5X told us that good intentions can be twisted if done incorrectly. Then Akashi, being this evil glasshole that manipulated the student body and faculty against Katayama, is such an effective villain that I almost want to tear my screen apart whenever he appears. The only time I remember having that emotion was with Kamoshida, which really tells you that this is the quality writing that P5X has been missing since launch. Truly, this is the moment where fans who love the Persona story so much can be assured that we again can experience such a wonderful quality storytelling from a free-to-play game. Honestly, the gacha system is the only thing that is stopping P5X from being an instant classic. But hey, they gotta make money somewhere, I guess. I kinda wish we can get an offline version of P5X, but I digress. Let's talk more about how Riko isn't just a Nijima Makoto clone. Smart, mature, level-headed, and a leader of a student body. Aside from both of them being introduced in the third chapter, Riko and Makoto's similarity ends there. And I do think that people who still calls Riko a Makoto copy don't understand her at all, nor our robotic president. Riko isn't someone who's trying to prove herself useful, because she is already presented as is, especially with how this worthless academic coordinator is forcing her to do his job. I can name every teacher that also did this to me. Anyway, compared to Makoto, who felt like a deadweight as she is cast aside by her sister while also losing the students' faith in her. However, at least Makoto at the very beginning is already somewhat rebelling against the principal's orders, which of course fits the theme of Persona 5. On the other hand, we see Riko just following suit to appease what is expected of her as the heir of a big company, which again fits their theme of desires. The reason why Riko and Makoto work so well as characters is that despite their similarities, differences, and behaviors, both stories directed them to expand on their current theme, with Makoto discovering her rebellious justice and thus awakening her persona, while Riko embraced her desire of love to save Katayama-sensei. This is the kind of storytelling and theming that wasn't told properly during the Subway Slumber and Miyazawa story arc. Riko was presented as the stoic pushover devoid of meaning. It set us up to see her as a boring Mary Sue. But once we learn her backstory and her need of affection, we then see her in this new light. Moving on, Katayama-sensei isn't just the perfect character to play both as the unwilling antagonist and the strong damsel in distress. It puts us players to expect that Katayama-sensei is this able character that needs no saving, as we explore her palace and discover all her efforts and sacrifices to help her students, while also putting us in a situation of being victimized by Akashi's manipulations. It's a smart way of telling that despite being an adult and a teacher of our estranged caste, she is still someone who needs saving no matter how strong she is. There's something beautiful about her whole situation that made her more human despite being a model teacher. No wonder why people are so excited for her. And now I understand Shun's admiration more than ever. Akashi-san, on the other hand, while he can go trip and break his neck. In all seriousness, I'm glad that the Persona writing team still has a lot in store in creating hateable, detestable, punchable villains in-game. I honestly thought that they peak in P5's Kamoshida and Shido, and yet they proved that those aren't their ceilings yet by giving us the world's pettiest consultant. Sorry Akashi, I have nothing but disdain for you and I cannot wait to beat you with my newly pulled cord in the next story patch. P5X 2.0 really live up to the hype. And this is the type of story that this free-to-play game is capable of. We are no longer living the dark era of the subway slammer. We are now finally enjoying a true Persona story. I just hope that people who lost their interest takes another shot at P5X, because what version 2.0 has been doing is simply magnificent. From all the rewards and even giving us a free duplicate, P5X 2.0 is the perfect time to go back and play this gacha game again. If you're curious why, then check this video out. Join Attack of the Find for more Persona content. This is Math, and stay awesome my dudes.